This airport is shaped like a falcon. It cost $2.3 billion to build, and last year a few hundred tourists visited it. This city has 22 five-star hotels. Pristine. Modern. Luxurious. Almost nobody stays in them because foreigners can barely enter the country. There's a 250-foot golden statue of the president on top of an arch. It rotates with the sun. Why? So the people can always see his face. His words, not ours. And here's the part that makes your jaw drop. The streets are paved with Italian marble. Buildings are wrapped in gold. The Capitol looks like a fever dream designed by a Bond villain. But step outside the city limits, people live in rusted railway containers. Cotton fields stretch for miles, worked by children who should be in school. Average monthly salary, $200, and even that arrives late. This isn't fiction, this is Turkmenistan, a country where gold gleams on every corner while ordinary people can barely afford bread. Welcome to the most absurd dictatorship on the planet. And yes, that includes North Korea. Because North Korea is terrifying. Turkmenistan is terrifying too, but it's also genuinely impossibly weird. A president who banned air conditioners because they looked ugly. Another who wrote 57 books about everything from horses to herbal tea. A president who fell off his horse at full speed during a televised race and was still declared the winner. White is the only legal car color. Dogs were banned from the capital because, according to the president, they smelled bad. Gold teeth were declared a relic of a dark past and forcibly replaced. And somewhere in this madness, a copy of the president's sacred book was launched into space, just in case aliens wanted to read it. This is Turkmenistan, a country that looks like a museum of marble and gold, but behind that facade hides one of the most repressive regimes on earth. Today we're going inside. From desert nomads to golden statues, from a personality cult so extreme it rewrote the calendar to a dynasty built on dentistry and horse racing. We'll see how two presidents turned an entire nation into their personal playground, and why a country with the fourth largest gas reserves in the world can't feed its own people. Let's go back to where it all started. Before the marble palaces and rotating statues, Turkmenistan was nothing but desert. No conventional states here, just nomadic tribes wandering the Karakum, one of the harshest deserts on earth. They survived through livestock, trade, and the occasional caravan raid. Classic steppe life. Harsh, unpredictable, but free. That freedom ended in 1881. The Russian army stormed a Turkmen fortress called Göktepe. They didn't negotiate. They planted explosives under the walls, blew them open, and massacred the defenders. The city was destroyed in hours. Turkmenistan ceased to exist as an independent territory overnight. Then came the Soviet Union. And with it, a simple message: you're no longer nomads. You're cotton farmers now. Mass collectivization, forced agriculture, children working fields alongside adults. Every decision made in Moscow, every resource extracted and shipped north. Turkmenistan became a raw material factory where the profits disappeared and the people stayed poor. The Soviet system turned this country into something simple: a supplier. Resources here, money there, always there. And here's what nobody expected. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed. Turkmenistan gained independence overnight. But independence, it turned out, didn't mean freedom. It just meant a different kind of master. The first president was Saparmurat Niyazov, and instead of building a democracy or fixing the economy, he chose something far more interesting: a personality cult. Step 1. A new name: Turkmenbashi. Leader of all Turkmen, not president, not prime minister, leader of all. Step 2. Rewrite reality itself. He renamed the days of the week, renamed the months. January became the month named after himself. Saturday became the day of the spirit. And bread, yes, actual bread, was renamed after his mother. But this is only the beginning. Because here's where it gets genuinely unhinged. Niyazov banned beards, called them unesthetic. Dogs disappeared from the capital because, according to him, they smelled bad. In 2003, he declared gold teeth an insult to national beauty. Students lined up at dentists, gold crowns ripped out, white replacements forced in. "I'm proud of my white teeth," he announced publicly. And then came the Ruhnama, a book Niyazov declared sacred. Part history, part autobiography, part made-up spiritual philosophy. He called it the National Bible. Schools taught it. Mosques displayed it. Government offices kept copies on every desk. Doctors had to swear on it. Taxi drivers had to pass an exam on it. Prisoners were promised early release for reading it 3 times. Why 3 times? Perhaps angels don't count the first attempt. 1 copy was launched into space, into actual orbit, just in case the universe needed converting. But the real spectacle was the construction. Niyazov turned the capital, Ashgabat, into a marble playground. Every new building wrapped in Italian marble, some wrapped in gold. The centerpiece, a 250-foot arch topped with a golden statue of himself, rotating with the sun. "So the people can always see my face," he explained. Meanwhile, outside the capital, people lived in converted railway containers. Rural citizens worked cotton fields for almost nothing. Child labor was standard, food shortages were constant, but none of that mattered. The capital needed to shine. And this is where it gets dangerous. Niyazov died in 2006. The nation mourned, or at least performed mourning convincingly. The new president? Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, Niyazov's personal dentist. Yes, a dentist, but apparently teeth weren't the only thing he planned to fix in this country. At first, it seemed like change was coming. He reversed some of Niyazov's craziest decrees, reopened schools, reinstated pensions, allowed opera and ballet again. People breathed. Maybe things would get normal. They did not get normal, and here's what nobody expected. Because very quickly, the dentist decided he wanted his own personality cult. Not smaller than Niyazov's, bigger. He started writing books, not 1 or 2, 57 books. On medicine, horses, herbal tea, national history, everything. Handed out to citizens like sacred texts. "This book is my gift to my caring people," he announced. He built his own golden statue, an equestrian one, naturally because he loved horses. Why a horse? Because he fancied himself a Turkmen warrior prince, apparently. Then came the horse racing incident. During a nationally televised race, Berdimuhamedov fell off his horse at full gallop, completely, publicly, on camera. He was still declared the winner. If you're the president, falling isn't losing. It's part of the show. Every year, Turkmenistan celebrates Horse Day. The star attraction? The president's grandson performing a rap song about the president's beloved horse. A president. A rap about a horse. On national television. But it gets better. Berdimuhamedov portrayed himself as an athlete, cycling, playing hockey, lifting weights, with a gold-plated barbell because regular iron wasn't impressive enough. He also gifted a Central Asian Shepherd puppy to Vladimir Putin, because apparently keeping friends close means keeping their dogs closer too. And his rap song Forward, Forward, Only Forward, Dear Homeland, made it into the Guinness Book of Records. Probably the only country where the president is simultaneously a rapper, a record holder, and a head of state. Turkmenistan has the 4th largest natural gas reserves in the world. 4th. That's an almost incomprehensible amount of wealth sitting underneath this country. So why are people starving? This wasn't incompetence. It was design. The money doesn't go to people. It goes to golden statues, marble palaces, and offshore accounts. By 2018, officials had reportedly stashed over $23 billion abroad. That's more than the country's entire annual budget. Hidden, gone, unreachable by anyone except the people who took it. I won't let anyone steal the people's money. the president declared publicly, while stealing the people's money. The Falcon-shaped airport cost $2.3 billion. Tourists, a handful, mostly oil and gas engineers. The Avaza tourist zone on the Caspian Sea was built like a Turkmen Las Vegas. Casinos, resorts, water parks, all in marble. Visitors? Almost none. This is what gas wealth looks like when one family owns the country. When gas prices crashed in 2014, the reality hit everyone except the elite. Massive layoffs overnight. Food shortages became routine. Sugar, flour, basic staples disappeared from shelves. Rationing kicked in. People spent hours in lines for bread. Meanwhile, the elite drove luxury European cars, lived in villas with swimming pools, and ate imported food delivered to their doors. In 2021, orphans were forced to donate their aid money toward school repairs. Children with no parents, no support, asked to contribute to the state that abandoned them. Hospitals closed. Medical staff replaced with underqualified military personnel. Pensioners lost benefits entirely. And child labor? Still happening. Kids miss up to 60 school days a year to harvest cotton. Not by choice, by government policy. By 2021, average salaries had dropped to $200 monthly. In rural areas, even less. Foreign travel required special permits. Leaving became nearly impossible. A country drowning in gas wealth where people cannot afford bread. And here's where the story takes its darkest turn. In 2022, Berdi Muhammadov officially stepped down. His son, Serdar, became president. The first dynastic power transfer in Central Asia since the era of Khans, father to son, like a kingdom. Except they called it an election. But here's the thing. Nothing actually changed. Key decisions still flow through the father. The old man's monuments remain untouched. His books stay in schools. His portraits still line government corridors. His influence is everywhere, just slightly less visible. Serdar is presented internationally as a progressive modernizer, signing agreements, speaking about economic reform, sounding reasonable in front of foreign cameras. But internally, freedom of speech remains among the worst on the planet. Dissent leads to jail. Sometimes forced psychiatric hospitalization. Even bad jokes about the government can result in prison sentences. Internet access is restricted. Independent journalism is essentially non-existent. Foreign reporters cannot work freely inside the country. Serdar's personality cult is already growing. His portraits now appear in schools, offices, and public spaces, not yet at his father's scale. But the trajectory is clear. A new national hero is being constructed. Same playbook, different face, same family. And here's what the outside world keeps missing. Ashgabat appears on Mercer's list as the most expensive city in the world for foreigners. Not because life is luxurious, because everything costs a fortune while salaries stay completely frozen. A kilogram of beef, $15 to $20. A liter of milk, $3. State bread costs almost nothing officially, but food shortages mean the black market price is 10 times higher. Flour, sugar, eggs, all scarce, all expensive. Want a car? A 15-year-old sedan costs $20,000. Apartments in those gleaming marble complexes? $200 to $300,000, sitting completely empty because nobody can afford them. The average salary is $200 monthly, often paid late. In rural areas, sometimes paid in goods instead of cash. Schools in the countryside are closing. Hospitals lack basic equipment. Clean water and electricity remain luxuries in many regions. This isn't a developing country struggling to catch up. This is a rich country deliberately kept poor. Every resource that should flow to the people gets redirected upward. Every reform that threatens that flow gets quietly buried. For most citizens, the future means one thing: leave. But even that requires navigating a government that makes departure as difficult as possible. Turkmenistan possesses every ingredient for prosperity. Fourth largest gas reserves on the planet. Strategic location between China, Russia, and Iran. vast agricultural land. None of it reaches the people it belongs to. So what is Turkmenistan? Really, a country where a president raps about horses, launches sacred books into space, and builds airports shaped like falcons that nobody visits. A country where gold statues rotate with the sun while children work cotton fields. A country where the capital gleams like a jewel and the countryside crumbles like ash. The absurdity isn't accidental. It's the point. Keep people distracted. Keep them impressed. Keep them staring up at golden statues instead of down at empty wallets. 2 presidents, 2 personality cults, 1 playbook, marble on the outside, poverty on the inside, a throne passed from father to son while the world calls it democracy. Turkmenistan is a lesson the whole world should be paying attention to. A country blessed with resources, but engineered to keep those resources out of reach. And the golden statues? They'll probably outlast everyone who built them. But here's the uncomfortable part. Turkmenistan isn't just absurd. It's a laboratory, a controlled experiment in how much you can take from a population before it breaks, how much spectacle you need to keep people distracted, how many golden statues balance against how much hunger, how long a family can hold absolute power if they control every lever simultaneously. The results are in. And they work. Once you see the pattern here, you start seeing it everywhere. Different countries, different names, different levels of absurdity, but the same architecture underneath. Distraction at the top, poverty at the bottom, power staying exactly where it's always been. Turkmenistan just runs the experiment in the open, which makes it the most honest dictatorship on earth.